Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and I'm here recording a video setting up my personal planner for 2020. So I'm really excited about this video and just getting set up for the new year. It's really quickly approaching, and so I just wanted to make sure that I had everything kind of put into place before the year started so that way I am ready to go as soon as January hits. And so what I am going to be doing is basically putting together a planner that I'll be taking with me when I am on the go. So I'll just walk you through kind of what I already have set up and then work you through some of the process of like how I'm going to set it up and show you a couple of new and exciting things. And I think they're going to be really, really awesome for me this year. So I'm going to start here. And this is the three planners. They're not really three, but it's just, three volumes. And inside each of these are pretty much the same thing. It's just split up into these three different volumes just because it wouldn't fit on one single set of discs. So they're all the same. And on the inside, it's it's actually 4 months of a planner. And so I'll show you basically one of them. As you can see here, I have to turn it a little bit. But again, they're all the same. It's just, one is January, February, March, and April. Then one is May, June, July, August. And then this one is September, October, November, and December. And so let me show you what I've got. You can see that they're all on the same cover. I ended up with a bunch of covers that were exactly the same. And so I actually really like having them all look the same. So I'm going to leave it like that. And then I put them on metal discs. So this one is... I'm actually not even sure. I think that this is kind of like a silvery color. And so this might have come off the Faith Warrior planner. And then this is, I believe, the set of rose gold metal discs. And then these are the blush discs that came off the Vintage Botanicals planner. And so those are the three. I'm actually thinking about taking the three and just kind of mixing them up and putting them back on in more of a random pattern. And so that might still happen. I just haven't decided yet. But in any case, these three planners are not going to be moving or like being carried with me. They just are a lot bulkier than I'm expecting or like wanting. It's like really, really heavy. And so I'm not going to use it like that in terms of just carrying it as is. So I think it will be fine for it to either stay on the colors as they are or just kind of mix it up just because it will be at home. So again, just to walk you through just one of these volumes, and this is the last 4 months of the year. I use these dividers, and these dividers are from the All Glam Planner from a Walmart release about a year or two ago. And I really love the color purple. If you have seen previous videos, especially the very, very early videos, these are like the dividers that came from the planner that had the purple, the lavender lilac cover. And so these are the dividers from there. And now I don't have the inside pages. The inside pages were horizontal, and I was using that, and I still do use that as my Faith planner, just to have horizontal lines. And so the pages, the weekly pages themselves are not being used. I'm just using the dividers here, and I use them for all three of these different volumes. So here is September. I'm not going to flip through the divider. I'm just showing you the setup here, but I do use a divider for each month, and then I don't actually plan to use the monthly page. As you can see here, it's just the first part of the month, and I don't have the second page. And so I'm just using it pretty much just to divide the month. And then what I have are the daily sheets from the Happy Planner. And so I ended up getting several packs. 10 packs on clearance when they were on clearance at Walmart for 75 cents. And so I was just like, that's a great deal. It's a sign to me that I can basically put together a daily planner for less than $10. And so I was very excited about that. And I ended up buying a ton of packs, 10 packs. And so for each month, I basically pulled the number of sheets that were required. In fact, I could have just put the 40 and called it a day, but I needed to pull enough to make enough for 12 months. So for September, there are 30 pages. Then for October, there are the 31. And you can see it's pretty much the exact same sheet. And same for November and December. And same for the other two planners as well. And so let me just show you. Oh, I already started putting notes in for myself. I forgot I did that. So let me just kind of show you one of the pages. You've seen it before. This is an old page, but just in case you haven't, I hope you've seen it. So it has this little corner that says plan a happy life, then the date, top priorities, and then a very long list of things to do, or a task list, and then a little gratitude box right here, and then an hourly breakdown. And it goes from 6 to 10, which is one of the reasons I'm thinking of using this, because my day kind of goes all the way until 10 or 11. And so I think it's really good for me to use this format rather than the vertical hourly that the Happy Planner released, just because it didn't have enough time. The vertical hourlies end at like 7, and a lot of what I do is after 7. So I just appreciate these couple of extra lines that I can use here. So that's the front, and the back is this kind of tiny graph, and it says brain dump at the top, and it's pretty much just blank space after that. And so again, all of these sheets are exactly the same, and I just have them in here in my planner. And so this is what I'm thinking of using for 2020. And again, I've got it set up for the entire year, but I might change it up. We'll see. But I used to be a daily planner, and so I think it will really work for me. And so I'm very excited about that. Now, I've mentioned that I don't plan to carry this thing with me, and I, of course, can't carry all 3 of them. That's just impossible. And so what I've got as a system for carrying it on the go is this stuff. And so if you've never seen this before, I'll just give you a little peek. These are Filofax books, notebooks. And so the very first one that I got was this Filofax book. And this is a junior size, which basically is a half letter. And this released a while back. I actually can't remember when exactly it released. But I got this book just because I loved the whole idea of a letter, an A5 or a half letter junior size. And so I got this, and I was actually using it for my bullet journal for several months before I gave it up. But one of the things that makes this system so great, very similar to the Happy Planner system, is that you can take the pages out and stick them back in. All right, so that was awesome. Now, one of the reasons I didn't stay with this system was because it was just a little bit smaller than I was used to with the Happy Planner. And the Happy Planner just gives me more room. So I really appreciated that. But the second reason was it didn't have a punch at the time that I bought this. They have since released a punch so you can make your own pages, which is very helpful. But in the meantime, I decided to switch to Happy Planner, and I haven't really looked back since then. And so I don't use this size anymore. You can see I use some of the pages. In fact, it comes with, I think, 30. And I've used most of that. I only have like maybe 10 sheets left in here. So I didn't use most of it. So that's that. Now, I had that. Now, with all that being said, again, I went from this, the junior A5 size, to a Happy Planner as my personal planning. I really didn't look back from there. But then I went to a recent planner conference, and these were one of the products that was released or given to us as part of our swag. And this is, I don't actually know the size or like the official name for it, but it's like a Filofax mini, which is, it's just so stinking cute. And again, this is about the amount of paper that it would come with, even in this size. And so you can see how much of it I've used in the A5 size. But it comes with paper, and it is going to be graph paper, lined paper, and then a divider, which I've removed from the A5, and then these 4 tabs. The first one is going to be a pocket divider, and then it'll have the second, third, and fourth, which are just regular tabs, places for you to mark your spot. And I'm not sure why that was in there. I think that's just so it wasn't decolorize the cover. And so I got this as part of swag, and I was just like, that's really cute. And so yeah, it says it's 56 pages. All right, so I got this as part of the swag, and I was like, oh, this is just so cute. And I know it's kind of if you need a comparison, the micro is about maybe this big, and then the mini is going to be just a, well, not quite that wide, but like about this much bigger. And so this is kind of in between the micro and the mini size for the Happy Planner. And I was like, this is cute. I didn't realize they were releasing new sizes. And so I ended up talking to someone at the planner conference, and she said, oh, they've released a couple of different sizes. And so she told me, of course, about the A5, which I already knew about, plus this size. Plus she said that there's an executive size. And I said, oh, that's really cool. What is it? Like, what size is it? She said, it's exactly the size of the Happy Planner. I said, what do you mean exactly the size? And then she proceeded to show me her Happy Planner inside this executive size. And I was just like, that's it. That's perfect for me. And so as soon as I got back from the planner conference, I bought this executive size. Now I got it in black, and I think there are only a couple of colors that it releases in, but I will definitely be on the lookout for other colors. I just thought that black would be just a good classic color to go with, to start off with. And so let me walk you through here's the official flip through of this executive size. And I kind of skimmed through some of the other sizes, but this is the one that I actually purchased. I took off the wrapping, the shrink wrap off of it, but otherwise have not opened this. Okay, so it does have these cardboard dividers, just like in the smaller size. So I'll take those out. And again, I think that's just to make sure that there are no dings or dents in the cover. I'm not quite sure. That's the assumption. All right, and so it does come with, again, a lot of paper. Here it comes with, again, 56 sheets. And as I'm flipping through this is all lined paper. Which is kind of disappointing. I really did like the graph paper that some of the other sizes came with, but it does have 56 sheets of lined paper here. Oh wait, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe this is it. Oh yeah, okay, so it had 56 sheets, and then it has like this kind of like sample pack that's attached to the back, and this is how it came. It was just kind of like tucked underneath the little band here, and it was just tucked under here. It was probably the other way, I don't remember now that I've pulled it out. And so this is a sample pack of paper, and so it has like a couple of sheets of lined paper, and then a couple of sheets of just plain, or like 4 sheets of plain paper, and then looks like 4 sheets of graph paper. Right, and so that's what we've got here. Now all of the paper is on like kind of this cream color. I don't know if you can tell, but just to compare it, I don't know if I have a scrap sheet of paper here. Let me see. Okay, so here's just a regular white sheet of paper. And so this is the cream color. So there is a definite difference there. So that's the paper. And this is, again, very similar to the other setups, but that's the paper. Then it has a bookmark, which is super cute. I really like this. It's very flexible. And I really like that because I feel like I'm not destroying the bookmark every time I pull it out, which is one of the problems that I have with like the bookmarks and dividers with the Happy Planner. They're sturdy, which is really good, but I feel like I might damage the punch part of it every time I pull it out. So then again, the very first divider does have a pocket, and then the second, third, and fourth are in fact the exact same colors, and it's just these colors just so you can divide things. So that is in here. Now I've got all of that. And really, I was just like, okay, I'm going to do this and just see how this works. Because the thing that I saw with Michelle's, the woman at Planner Conference, with her planner was that she was just able to put in her Happy Planner pages directly into here, and it worked just fine. So I'm actually, I mean, I saw her do it, so I know it works, but I'm just wondering if it will work for me. So that's what I'm going to do today, is basically set up this Filofax Executive, which is just to compare. I mean, look at the difference, right? Taking this around versus taking this around. And I get that this is, 4 months, but I don't need to carry around 4 months of planner with me. It's just not necessary. And so that's what I'm going to do here. All right, so the very first thing that I need to do to get this set up then is to take out all of this paper. Now, I will just store this with the rest of my lined paper. Love systems that just allow me to do this. So I'm just taking all the paper off. I'm going to leave the tabs just in case I want to use that. Okay. And again, the Filofax system does have its own punch. It has been released since I used it previously, so I know they do have a punch. And so that was very similar to the Happy Planner system. And now that I've removed it off of the coils, I'll show you what this looks like. So the coil is like kind of this double coil system. And so it's not discs, it is a coil system, but the way that the punched paper itself works is very similar to the Happy Planner, where it's punched and then it has like a little slit, so that way you can kind of just put it back on the coils. One of the things that is different from this system and the Happy Planner system is that the punch is like the opposite way. If you're a Happy Planner, you know that it looks more like a mushroom, and this looks more like a cup, like a stemmed glass. And so it's the punch itself is the opposite way. You'll also see that the Filofax punch is a little bit deeper. The larger part is a little bit deeper. The Happy Planner is like pretty much a semicircle. Here it's a semicircle plus a little extra like little piece. And so it's semicircle plus. And so that is there. But again, I saw that it can be fairly compatible with the Happy Planner. It's not exactly compatible, but it might work. Okay, so what I did was to get all the paper, and now I'm going to move over basically only January. I'm thinking that as I go, what I'm going to be doing is using pages here and having pages for like future planning, and then just kind of as the days finish, I'm going to move it back to the rings for the Happy Planner, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. And so some of the things that I've already got, you can see there, I've decorated a little bit, and I'm not going to use any of those pages. I'm actually going to pull some of these blank pages that I've got just to see if this works. I'm going to snap it on the rings, on the coils. All right, so I put a couple there, and it does work. Now, one of the things is it's very tight, so I'll just show you what this looks like a little bit closer. So once it gets on the rings, you can see that this is like way jammed over to this part of the punch, and then this one is all the way to this other side. So I think this is like the maximum it will go. If we had a larger book, and in fact I think that the Filofax system does have a letter size book, there's no way it would fit on the rings, or like the punch, because you'd be like sized out of the punches by that point. So like this is like the absolute maximum, right? So it does fit, but it is definitely not exactly the same spacing between each of these coils as the Happy Planner system. And so as I put it on there, it pretty much, it does flip. One of the things I might have to change and kind of do is like the Happy Planner punch is a little bit deep. And so you can see here, the pages are almost overlapping when I flip them, right? In fact, like it's overlapping right here. I don't know if you can see that, but like it's overlapping like right there. And so it's because these sheets right here, the punch for the Happy Planner is a little bit deeper, and so it is punched so deep that the pages start to overlap a little bit. That was actually a problem with some of the other pages, like with the micro planner, for example, on the like those tiny rings, the pages started overlapping. And so I did switch that to like a mini disc, and it worked a lot better. So it does work. And in fact, I don't know if it will bother me, because again, keeping in mind that I'm only going to be using the front page and then putting additional pages just to add notes for other dates. I'll really only be using the front of this, and so it should not bother me, but we'll see. All right, so that's set up. And again, I will put the entire month, in fact, I'll do that now, of January in here. And just to kind of walk you through what I'm thinking is going to happen, what I'm going to do is I'm putting all the pages for January in here. And again, January has 31. And so I'm putting 31 pages in here. But what I think will happen is I'm not going to use, or as the month goes on, I'm going to move pages out and add pages in. And the way that's going to work is basically every time I take out a page or take out a couple of pages, I'll add in a couple of pages, so that way it stays at around 30. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but certainly I don't want about 30 pages in here. And why I want that is just so that way, once I've got plans happening and things to write down, I can go ahead and start writing down those things, and just making sure that I make note of them. And I'll show you what this looks like once I get all of these in here, but I don't think that it has to be where they stay in order, if that makes sense. It doesn't have to be where, there's a random sticker that I'll just put that here. I'll go in trash later. Right, so I've got the 31 pages from January in here. And so this is what I'm thinking will happen is, once I use a page from here, I'll just flip to a random page. So I use this page, the day is over. I'm going to basically take it out of here and put it on the rings for the Happy Planner. And then once it starts getting a little bit low, or when I'm trying to, once I take a page out, I put a page back in. And I don't take pages out every day either. So it'll probably every couple of days when I take pages out, I'll put it back on the rings, and then I'll take a couple of pages and put them back on here. And the reason I'm thinking of doing that is basically so that way I have about 30 pages to use. And just to show you what this looks like, I don't think that I will necessarily just start January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and just date all the way through. What I'm going to do instead is, as dates come up and I see things happening on that date, I will create a page for it. And you can see here I've already made notes to myself for January 13th. And that really was just kind of a random date. It's the first day of work for me, but then these to-do lists are totally random. I just put them on that date just because I had them. I just needed to put them somewhere. And so then I decorated these other dates, but there's nothing there. But what I'm thinking is if that's January 13th and my next major event is January 19th, then I'm just going to go ahead and put January 19th and start making notes here. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be January 13th and then 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th before it gets to the 19th, if that makes sense. And so it will just be pages as I need. And eventually it will be where I have a page for each day. So if January 1st rolls around and I haven't made a page for it, then I'll just go to the back, grab one of these blank pages, move that to the front and just start writing. And so that's what I'm thinking. Now, again, I think the system will work because one of the things that will be I'll be able to do is on a blank page, if something happens in March, for example, and it's only January 1st, then I can still say March, whatever the date is, and start making notes and kind of putting that there so that way it's here. And then once March comes around, then I can just move it and it'll just eventually come to the front at some point. And so that's what I'm thinking of doing. And I'll actually leave the March page, hypothetically, in here until March comes around, and I'll just always have it in here. And so that's a chance for me to kind of be able to say, oh, let me look at my actual planner and see if there's a March event for that date, and then go ahead and make notes for that date. And I think that will work out wonderfully. One of the things that you see is missing from here is a monthly view. I have been able to, in the past, not use a monthly view, and I'm thinking of doing the same thing here where I'm just going to kind of play it day by day and have a daily page instead of doing the monthly page. Again, sometimes I just haven't had the monthly page and it's been okay for me. I don't necessarily need to see everything all at one time. And I think one of the reasons that monthly spreads kind of work is just so you're kind of placing things in different places, so that way you're not super busy at one point of life or a certain part of the week versus another part of the month. And I just don't find that my life works like that. I don't necessarily schedule everything in my life. And so I kind of have to go where the schedule leads me. And so doing it this way, I think will be helpful to see day by day what I have going on. And I can certainly see that, if a March 8th event is coming up, whether I have something on the 7th or the 9th. So I think it will be okay for me to do it this way. And again, I've done it before. So I am going to, I think, love the system. It's kind of like a way to combine two systems that I have used in the past in a way that makes sense to me. And certainly I definitely love daily pages. And so I'm very excited about using daily pages. And again, kind of talking you through the system is, in terms of future planning and putting things far out in advance, I can just have these extra blank pages in the back and just write them. And as I need to fill it in and add pages, I'm going to do that. And that's just kind of how it's going to be working. And in fact, now that I have these tabs, I'll do this off camera, but I'll go through and separate the blank pages from the pages that I've already decorated and put stickers and written on. And so that way I'll know for sure here's how much blank sheets I have. And so that will be very helpful to me, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm very, very excited about this January planner, and hoping it works for all of 2020, not just for January. And that is all. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. I am going to love this, I think. But this is what my setup is going to look like for at least the beginning of 2020. And I do hope that it gave you some ideas for what you can do for your own planner. I am really trying to use up a lot of my product, and so daily pages will give me a chance to do that with daily pages and stickering daily pages. And I'll do a video much closer to January. In fact, it will be probably in January where I'll walk you through how I lay out the daily pages, and what I'm going to be including in the different sections of the daily pages. But for now, this is just setting it up, and I am going to just look forward to seeing your comments and seeing what you have to say about the system. If you enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see videos as they get posted or as I go live. And I look forward to seeing you. Until then, have a great day.